Oh? It's raining? You know what that means. That means it's time for a run. Oh yeah. The best time to run is in the rain. That's what happens when you're a tour guide and you know, been through the worst hurricanes, monsoons in Arizona, hurricanes in Florida. You gotta keep yourself, you know, you gotta keep yourself prepared. Who knows if a hurricane will hit us, right? Who's gonna come save you if it does? Me. You know, a lot of people get scared of the rain. Me, on the other hand, when it rains, usually I get really comfortable. And like I said, I don't know if that's the Floridian in me, the tour guide in me, or the kid in me. I don't know. Something about rain and working out in the rain is really fun. I encourage you to try it. Yeah, and it feels good, you know? You're out here, you don't need to carry water. I mean, you can drink it from the sky. Don't drink out of the puddles out here though. This is Ybor City. Whew. Dude, I've lost so much weight. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. Look at my pants. I can't even keep them on. I lost like 4 or 5 inches around the waist in the past 2 months. Just being active and drinking more water, taking vitamins and minerals, quitting a lot. You know, if you've ever been, I talk about this a lot, so it's just like part of me. So part of my active lifestyle is come from recovery. Once I stopped doing drugs and alcohol, I couldn't even, I remember laying in the bed, going through withdrawals, and my body just wanted to move. You know, that's what happens when you sit for 10 years. Your body just wants to move. Talk about restless legs, hot and cold sweats, hyper anxious. You know, I noticed once I start feeling that way, I get up and I be active for, I don't know, an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, sometimes all day. Once you do that, it's like you sweat it out and your body goes through the process. And if you're being active and you're helping that process, then it got done quicker for me. So this is what I encourage you to do. Get up, go on a run, go play in the rain. Oh, this looks like fun. This looks like fun. I love running through the city. It's fun. And why would somebody do this kind of dumb shit? This kind of dumb shit has helped with anxiety, with depression, with restlessness. I don't take as much of my anxiety medications anymore. And quite honestly, I noticed that I was the most anxious when I was sitting still, not involved in a bunch of activities like a lot of people get anxious when there's too much going on. Me, I notice that I get calm when there's a lot going on. Escalator, nah, we're good. Now, that's why I've done it. So, if you're dealing with restlessness, insomnia, anxiety, depression, derealization, these kind of things, lately, I noticed it's mostly because people are sitting around doing nothing. Nothing. Except this. This is what people do. This is what people do. This is what people do. Yeah, no, stop. Put the phone away. Get up. Take a walk. Get out. When's the last time you took your dog on a walk, man? Get out. Get up. Eat right. Eat healthy. Put the stuff down that's actually causing it. It works. It helps. I promise. I want to leave this video off with a bit of encouragement, because when I was going through my worst, especially with substance abuse problems and things like that, the one thing that I had trouble finding was someone to tell me that it was going to get better, that had actually went through this before. Now, I'll be that person for you. I feel like shit right now. My head to toe after that run, I don't feel very good. I felt pretty good while I was running, but now that I'm calm and my cortisol levels have gone down just a little bit, you know, it sometimes takes months, years for people to feel better from their substance of choice, whether that be alcohol, whether that be weed, whether that be heroin, whether that be kratom, crack, cocaine, whatever the case may be. Now, that being said, I know people who have gone through cocaine withdrawals, and they're still going through cocaine withdrawals to this day, a year later. Stuff doesn't happen overnight. Quitting is the first step. Maintenance. The more you lay there and the more you tell yourself that it's not going to be okay, it's probably not going to be okay. So it's going to be okay. You're going to go through some shit, but you're going to come out the other side and you're going to learn from it. I promise. And when you do, come back and talk to me and tell me what you learned so I can learn from you. All right, guys, have a good night. Stay active, eat healthy, keep your mind in a good spot, and keep doing it. You got it. I promise. Because, not done yet, at the end of the day, if you've been doing whatever it is that you're doing, whether it be prescribed medications, whether it be self-medicating, whether it be, you know, doesn't really matter how you're doing it. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're doing things to dull the pain, or you know, using things to boost your energy, whatever the case may be, whatever you're using it for, anxiety, you just like getting high, whatever the case may be, if you've been dulling your senses for that long, of course, when you've gone through something traumatic, you get a little bit of PTSD from these situations. What I like to call it is being comfortable in your own skin, too comfortable in your own skin. Now, you have done things to dull your senses, to dull your nerve endings, and now when you're going through some type of suffering, whether it be physical or whether it be mental, you're not going to react the same way that you were reacting when you were on the substances. You've dulled your senses, so it's gonna be a lot worse now when you're going through that. You know, this took me a long time to realize, and nobody ever told me that. So, that being said, you know, you're gonna feel pain, you're gonna feel uncomfortable, and there are things that you can do to combat that. Now, I'm feeling pretty anxious right now, right? So I'm gonna take a nice hot shower, and I'm gonna put on some YouTube and do some journaling and reading and a little bit of studying and catch up on some emails and things of that nature. Put myself in a headspace right after I get done with a nice hot shower. You know, again, these are the things you can do, and I'm gonna continue with these videos and tell you exactly how you can walk yourself through this and what you can do in order to help your anxiety, help the way you're feeling. Because again, when I was going through this, I didn't really have anybody that I could talk to about this. And a lot of people, they have a job, they have a career. You could be working in education, you could be working for the state or the county or the government, you know, it's not a very acceptable talking point to be like, hey guys, I was on this X, Y, or Z, whether it was prescribed or whether it was you know, self-medicating. It doesn't matter at the end of the day. I'll tell you that because I got to the point where every single medication that I had been taking recreationally, weed, got the medical card, legal, right? Xanax, got a psychiatrist appointment 2-3 years ago, got put on the medication, legal, right? Still can be abused. You know, things of that nature. You know, it doesn't matter if you're prescribed these things, you can still abuse them. And most of the time when you bring this stuff up to people, they're automatically going to think you're a drug addict, a user, an enabler, and a bad person to be around. And do they want your kids around you? No. And do they want to be seen with you in public with their family? No, absolutely not. Now, how can you combat that? Well, you can be honest up front and read the room. It's not always the best time to bring up the fact that you were a prior drug addict or you were a prior user. And I had to learn that the hard way. I can find in my coworkers and my bosses and upper management at a previous job that I was at, and I told them everything. Overly honest. The point being is, you know, the company probably didn't necessarily want this image of this prior user in their company because of the stigma that's attached to it and the image that's attached to it. And I understand that and I get it. However, not everybody's like that. People do want to get better, and a lot of people didn't do this by choice. A lot of people were put on psychiatric medications, antidepressants, SSRIs, SRNIs, things of that nature, things that they have to take every day to be correct in the head and to also be correct physically. Now, I'll tell you that from my experience with coming off antidepressants. Now, if you stop taking an antidepressant after you've been on it, SSRI, SNRI, this stuff doesn't get you high, it doesn't mess you up, it helps boost your dopamine levels, and it helps recalibrate your brain to not be so depressed, and it helps with a lot of other chemicals in your brain. But if you stop taking them after you've been taking them for a year, 2 years, 6 months, 10 years, you are going to go through some type of physical withdrawal. Now some people are different, they're freaks of nature, but I went through one of the worst withdrawals in my life coming off of Cymbalta, coming off of a slew of SNRIs, Seroquel, all of those different things that they were trying to prescribe me for, you know, the what I was feeling coming off of everything. So it's like a cycle that you will end up getting yourself of if you keep just chasing whatever I can take to make me feel better. Your body will sweat it out. You need to change your environment, and you need to change your perception of reality. One of the biggest tips of advice that I can give anybody, and the person that told me this, it changed my life when they told me. And I won't even lie to you, this person that told me probably hates my guts now, probably doesn't like me or want to be associated with me anymore. But this person told me, perception is reality. Whatever you perceive this world as, whatever you perceive what's going on, the situation, is reality. Perception is reality. So you need to change your perception on reality. Things are going to get better. You're not going to stay like this permanently. You're going to get better. It starts with you. That being said, I'm jumping in the shower to wash off the Ybor City River water off of me. So, have a good night, you guys. Have a good day tomorrow. Enjoy yourself. And don't be afraid to like, comment, share, subscribe, and all that other bullshit down below. Thank you. You know, I know that I'm saying a lot of these things, and I know that there's probably someone that's laying down and like feeling like they're going through hell right now, saying, yeah, oh, that sounds so easy. That sounds, you make it sound so easy. Oh man, yeah. Get up and run around and be active and all that stuff. Yeah, sure. If only it wasn't that easy. It's not easy. It's not. You know how bad I want to lay in this room all day long and watch YouTube and do nothing, essentially? I want to do that pretty badly, but I choose not to, and I choose to get up, move around, eat healthy, and I want to feel better. So, you know, it starts with that. Do you want to do this? Because if you do, it's doable. It is doable. I promise you, it's doable. So let's do it together. You can pull yourself out of this. You can do it. You will be better. You're not a bad person. You got this. Don't let a substance define you and who you are as a person. Don't let it define your whole reality. Perception is reality. Comment below. Let me know about your stories. Let me know how you're doing, and I will keep you updated with how I am doing. Just because you were either caused med harm, a lot of my friends have gone through exactly what I've gone through and had to deal with like a rogue psychiatrist or like some kind of craziness where it's like they wound up on this medications or whatever the case may be, and it doesn't define you, doesn't define who you are. You will feel better. You just got to find that thing that's going to help you get a grip on your perception of reality. Now, I know what you might be saying, because when I saw videos like this, chasing sobriety, I thought this. What is this dude talking about? He's got no idea. If only I could get up and run around the block, take my dog on a walk, clean my room, get up and go to work. Very normal things. People don't understand what's robbed from you when you are done with the process of being an addict, chasing that high, going and getting whatever it is that you choose to get. And people that have gotten sober and gone through recovery will definitely know exactly what I mean when I say this. But it feels like a hassle, like a ball and chain that you're carrying around with you everywhere that you go. And you're scared to stop because you have to work. You're a normal functioning member of society, and you know up here, I can't stop this because if I do, I'm not going to be able to go to work. I'm not going to be able to take care of my kids. I'm not going to be able to make my doctor's appointment. I'm not going to be able to pay my bills. How much longer are you willing to do that? Yes, rehab is scary. Yes, MAT, medication assisted treatment, is scary. I never personally went through MAT. Anytime I've stopped anything, I've done it with either a tapering guidance program or cold turkey. And I know everybody can't do that. However, there are options. There are ways out of this. And whether you do it cold turkey, whether you do it through a rehab or an outpatient program, or whatever the case may be, it's not hurtful to you to reach out for help. It could start with just messaging me and saying, hey, I saw that video. I know you've went through this before. What did you do to get better? So don't watch this video and be like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Of course, this guy, you know, he's up and, you know, he's running around and he's eating food and taking a shower. It's 3 very basic things: activity, hygiene, and nutrition. It's gonna start there, and it's gonna be hard, man. Like getting up and going to your favorite fast food restaurant, or Uber, you know, ordering Uber Eats of that milkshake and French fries, or eating whatever it is that you can grab easily because you're depressed, you're anxious, you don't feel good, but your body's screaming at you, right? Like, hey, I need to eat food, I need to hydrate. Those are going to be the hardest things. Those are going to be the hardest things, let me tell you, because you can't survive without food for X amount of days. You can't go without water, and you're not going to get a job or impress anybody if you look like shit and you smell like shit. So it starts there. Even if you haven't quit yet, get yourself on a regimen, make yourself a plan, and execute. This is what I did. This is what helped me tremendously when I chose to quit everything. Making a plan, getting a calendar, journaling, writing notes every single day. Keep track of when you're eating. Keep track of how much you're drinking. You're just writing it down. You're just saying, okay, look at the clock. This time, this day, I drank this much water. This time, this day, I ate this, and this. Right when you do it. So that way, if you feel like absolute shit the next day, you can look at your notes and you can backtrack and see, okay, what did I eat yesterday? How much water did I drink yesterday? How much sleep did I get? And then at the end of the day, you can look back at it and be like, oh, well, I only slept for 2 hours and I haven't drank any water today and I haven't eaten anything since yesterday, and when I did eat, it was a McDonald's cheeseburger and a milkshake, right? It starts to make sense why you feel like crap. So a lot of it is changing your perception on reality. I'm telling you, give it a shot, give it a try. Even if you're not like an addict or a prior addict or anything of that nature, give it a try, and I guarantee you'll notice that things in your life start to change a little bit. My inbox is open. Reach out if you have questions. If you've recently gone through the kratom ban and you're taking 7-hydroxy, or you're taking kratom, or whatever the case may be, because you were a former opiate addict and this is what helps you get off the opiates, well, I guarantee that you are not, don't go back to the opiates. Remember when you were on fentanyl, and remember when you were on, all of that different stuff, and don't backtrack, okay? Put the kratom down, stop looking for ways to get it, and accept that it's time to bring this to an end. I promise you that you will thank yourself later for doing this, and then write the date down. That's what I did. When I stopped everything, when it was the last thing that I was like, okay, this is the real crutch, I look back at it, I'm running around, I'm feeling better, I got a different job that I actually like, I'm progressing in life, I'm saving money, there's a couple $100 in my bank account when it used to be zero or negative. Those little things will give you encouragement and boost your morale throughout the day. And write it down. Write it down at the end of the day. Write it down. So when you're feeling like shit, but you've got 3 weeks of sobriety under your belt, you can go and look at those notes and be like, damn, this sucks, but I sure as hell am not laying in the bed, dying, sweating my ass off, restless legs, anxiety, I don't want to go to work. And if you do go to work, you're just, anxious and upset and irritable. It's time to put that stuff behind you and live the life that you were meant to live. And I promise it gets better. My inbox is open. Message me if you're having any kind of issues. I will point you in the right direction. I will have a sponsor reach out to you. I will coach you with what I'm doing if you just want advice. What vitamins am I taking? What minerals am I taking? What kind of sleep schedule do I have? How am I combating insomnia? How am I combating depression? How am I combating anxiety? How am I combating all the physical stuff that happens when you stop any kind of substance and you've been taking it for a long time? Again, whether that be, weed, or whether that be, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a doctor, but I've been through it, and I've been through it with just about everything that you could imagine in regards to psychiatry and in regards to substance abuse and things of that nature. If I haven't been through it, then the odds are I've probably shared a room with someone who did. So I have a vast amount of knowledge to be able to pass on to anybody who needs any kind of help or assistance. So don't be afraid. Send me a message. Keep track of what I'm doing, and it gets better. I'm still not 100%. I don't think I ever will be, but I'll tell you what, I'm better at 75% now than I was at 110% on drugs and alcohol. Thanks for watching, and if you found this helpful at all, then it's time to hit the follow button, it's time to reach out, and it's time to make some changes.